Thanks for joining me on Saturday, the 24th of January 2026, after it finished at the Etihad Stadium. Man City 2, Wolves 0. It's no disgrace losing 2-0 away at Man City, because many a team have been tonked there, because Man City are Man City after all, and we've been tonked there in recent years. But obviously it's another very bad day for us, because to make matters worse, in the early kick-off today at the London Stadium, it finished West Ham 3. Was it West Ham 3-1 winners against Sunderland? So obviously they're in the bottom three as well, so they pull even clearer of us. And Burnley, I know it was only 1 point, but they pull another point away from us because they drew 2-2 at home against Tottenham. So we were already clutching at straws, because we're in a pretty perilous position, 8 points, and the game's running out. So, we are clutching at straws. If relegation looked inevitable already, it's certainly, unless you live on Fantasy Island, it looks like relegation's a certainty now. But we did show a lot of fight. And the stats show that it was near 65 to 35% possession. And surprisingly enough, the stats show that it was 11 shots apiece. But the trouble is that, Man City, they took their chances when they got them. From the last league game at home to Newcastle, last weekend, where we drew 0-0, there was only one change to the starting 11, where he brought in John Arias, the Colombian, for Tolu Arokodare, the big Nigerian striker. So it looks like the manager, instead of going for a target man, was looking for faster, smaller, mobile, nippy players, but it didn't really pay off because Arias, try hard as he did, he didn't really make much of an impact. But the first goal came quite early, after 6 minutes, and trust it to be our former player, Mateus Nunes, who got the assist. Whipped in across. If you've been a bit absolutely examining it minutely, how could we have stopped the goal? Perhaps Hugo Bueno could have stopped the cross, but he got the cross in, and Marmoush he beat Yerson Mosquera's attempt to clear it with a header, but he's nipped there and headed it past Sarr 6 minutes. So we needed a solid start. So at the start of the game, immediately we were on the back foot. But the City, they didn't really, to the credit of Wolves defence, they didn't really carve us open, and they didn't really miss many clear chances, although there was one, I think it was about 34 minutes, where there was a long ball up to Marmoush, the goal scorer, and he brought it inside Mosquera, and he clipped the post. But there was a long VAR check on that one, because the ball seemed to hit Mosquera's arm around about the elbow. But again, common sense prevailed, because it was the referee deemed it was a footballing incident, which it was. So we went in half time 1-0 down. There was 46 minutes. Sorry, we went in 2-0 down because Semenyo, he beat who was it? He beat the Czech player Ladislav Krejci to a through ball by Rodri. He just clipped inside him in a left foot shot, and it beat Sarr for pace because it was in the net before he could finish diving. So we went in 2-0 down, as we did against Liverpool. And with Man City being Man City, we thought, is it going to be a Tonkin? Is it going to be embarrassing? Well, at half time, Wolves manager Rob Edwards made 2 changes. He took off Arias, and he took off Chachua, and he brought on Rodrigo Gomez and Larson, and it looked like he changed it to a 4-4-2. So Rodrigo Gomez, he definitely wasn't right back. He was more attacking player. And Chachua, who he had again. He had a decent game at Newcastle, but today it was the chat to we don't want to see, because towards the end of the first half he was breaking forward and he was in a decent position. He just held on to the ball and he was crowded out, and then City hit us on the break, but thankfully that didn't lead to anything. But at half time, as says, he made them 2 changes. Larson and Larson and Rodrigo Gomez on for Arias and Chachua. Joe Gomez had a free kick in the second half outside the box, but he went just over. Andre was booked. Joe Gomez was booked. What's his name? Our youngster Mane. He had a couple of decent breaks. He looked promising. In the first half, he had a curling shot from outside the area, just over. A couple of promising breaks as well in the second half, where I'm surprised more wasn't made of a possible penalty, because 72 minutes he looked like he was fouled in the area, but it was just waved away. And I'm surprised that VAR didn't look at it, because watching it live, the commentator said that's a penalty, and Man City seemed to have got away with that one. So we lost 2-0 at Man City, but it's fine margins. Towards the end, there was another corner whipped in from by Mane and onto the head of who was it? Again, it was Mosquera, who was arguably our best player, and that one just landed on top of the bar. There was another Semenyo hit the post on 77 from a break with his left foot, but we tried hard. You couldn't really say that we missed any clear chances, but Man City, no disgrace losing there. But yeah, we need wins, and we haven't got a very good record. I know when Gary O'Neill was there, we won 2-1 at Molineux, and when Wang got the winner. And last season at Molineux, we were the victims of a controversial late winner for them, when their player was impeding our goalkeeper, stood in front of him, and they allowed that one to stand. I went to the first match of the season in the reverse fixture where we lost 4-0. There was Monetzi had a chance there. It was disallowed, a goal. We thought he brought it back to 2-1. Larson, when it was 2-0 early in the second half, he missed a great chance, but we were tonked 4-0. That was a day Agbadou wanted to forget, because he gave away a couple of passes which led to goals. But today, we were a different team to we were then. We were in there fighting, pitching. As I said, we tried to give as good as we got, and arguably our best players were Mane and Mosquera, similar to Newcastle last week. But January, we're coming into the last week. I think it's about the 2nd of February where the transfer window opens. We haven't signed anybody yet. We haven't took anybody in on loan. But we've got rid of Monetzi on loan. We've got rid of Herver on loan. There was talks that Leeds were in yesterday for Larson, £33 million fee plus £6 million add-ons. Besiktas possibly interested in Agbadou, but we need some reinforcements with the last week of the transfer window. But it finished here 2-0, no disgrace, but it's a bad day at the office. We're clutching at straws, but realistically we have to start rebuilding for life in the Championship, finish the season with more momentum than we have the last 2 seasons, and then we've got to pick up and go again. But next week it's at home, Bournemouth. I hope to be at that one, 3 o'clock on Saturday at Molineux. But whatever happens, we'll keep supporting the Wolves, up the Wolves.